As the Biden-Harris self-inflicted border catastrophe worsens by the hour, the Democrats and their sycophantic allies in the media are in full-on damage control. Just listen to MSDNC's Joy Reid claiming the crisis doesn't even exist.
The roaming gnome is back at it again. Governor Kristi Gnome, that is. It would appear that our inaugural absolute worst is jealous of all the attention our two record holders, Republican Governors Greg Abbott of Texas and Florida's Ron DeSantis, are getting. So she's sending South Dakota's National Guard troops roaming, deploying them to the southern border of Texas, joining fellow MAGA sycophant DeSantis and the governors of Iowa and Nebraska in sending help to the border. 50 National Guard troops are being deployed in response to Greg Abbott's plea for more border security for a non-existent crisis.
Wow, non-existent. Border encounters are on pace for a two-decade high. Cartels are emboldened. Human smugglers are operating in plain sight. Drugs are pouring into our country, and authorities are completely overwhelmed. Now, remember, there's nothing compassionate about illegal immigration and nothing compassionate about incentivizing this treacherous journey from Central America to the U.S. border. It's inhumane for the migrants, and it's a slap in the face to all of us here at home. Reckless immigration policy erodes trust that our leaders will actually faithfully execute the laws and faithfully keep us safe and secure. What we're seeing at the border is a full-fledged public safety risk. Just listen to one mom in Del Rio, Texas, saying she's even scared to have her kids play outside.
I am constantly concerned right now with my family's safety, and that especially of our three daughters.
So when people say, well, that's because you live on the border, has it always been like this? Have you always been concerned about your family's safety?
I think our situation is unique because we used to live on a very large ranch west of Del Rio, but we moved to Del Rio seeking, the nice, quiet, safe yard that our girls could grow up and play in. And within the last 6 months or so, activities here, it was peaceful for a while. I was actually enjoying having peace of mind and allowing our kids to play outside, but they can't do that anymore.
Wow, that's awful. Now, don't forget, when Donald Trump left office, the border was as secure as it ever had been. But then Biden scrapped the highly successful Remain in Mexico policy. He ended construction of the border wall. He reinstituted catch and release. And his open borders rhetoric sent a message to migrants that a new president meant no more border enforcement. Here now to break it all down, former acting ICE director and Fox News contributor Tom Homan, along with Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Rachel Campos Duffy and American Conservative Union Chair Matt Schlapp. Let me start with you, Tom. Obviously, it's heartbreaking for all of us to have seen such success from President Trump, to see our agencies working successfully to secure people's lives and to make everyone's lives better, south of the border and north. And, Tom, now we just see it set on fire. Essentially, it seems deliberately so. What is your take on where things stand now?
Oh, the border's in complete chaos. I've been enforcing immigration law for almost 35 years. This is the worst I've ever seen it. And for the first lady that spoke said there's not a crisis, I suggest that she go down to the Rio Grande Valley, something that Kamala Harris didn't do, and spend 1 hour with the Border Patrol. I've been down there 4 times. When I spend an hour with Border Patrol, I watch them arrest 197 illegal migrants come across our river. 2 weeks ago, I was in Arizona. I met with 100 border sheriffs from all across the country, plus many border sheriffs. And they'll tell you about the rise in fentanyl overdoses, the rise in fentanyl seizures. They'll tell you about the rise in high-speed car chases. One border sheriff alone told me he already found 44 dead migrants since Joe Biden became president.
Horrible.
44 dead migrants in one county. So, and plus what the lady says is an insult to the men and women of the Border Patrol who are dealing with this crisis every day. Yeah. So I suggest you educate herself because she's dead wrong on this issue. We have a crisis of immense proportions that I have never seen in my career.
And it's a great point, sir. Rachel, this is not just theoretical, right? We know there's technical issues going on at the border. But you heard that mom. You're a mom. People watching this are parents. You have people you love. This is about an event that directly impacts the safety and security of American families. This is real life. What were you thinking with that mom, unable to really feel safe, letting her children even out of the house?
Yeah, they actually caught an immigrant coming up her driveway who actually had a criminal sexual past. So this is a real thing. She's petrified, and she said the Border Patrol is tied up with, processing people, and she was lucky that someone in local law enforcement caught this man and took him away. But remember, all of these people are going all over the country. Bob Good, a representative from Virginia, went down with the Republican Study Committee to look at the border. Now, not only did they see that the border was completely out of control, as Tom Homan has said, but then he went to the airport to go home, and he found all these illegal immigrants in the airport in McAllen with manila folders. And in these manila folders, they had where they're going, how to navigate the airports, and also they had what they call notice to appear paperwork from DHS. And that paperwork says to be determined. So they are not ever going to go to court. They're being spread out across the country. And the reason Joy Reid can say that, Tammy, is because the Biden administration isn't being honest about this. You know what? I'd have so much more respect for them if they tell the truth. Say, listen, we're opened up the border. We want all these people in. We're sending them to airports. We're putting them on buses, and we're sending them across the country.
Yeah.
But they're doing it, and they're lying to us and saying that they're not doing it.
Yeah, and they're lying about it, Matt. And great points, Rachel. Great stuff on the weekend, too, with Fox and Friends in the Morning. They're lying about it because they know Americans don't want it. They know and they of course have no regard for us, so they think we're just, going to believe it and swallow it whole. But the fact is, Matt, you've got a dynamic here where this is, once again, forget about the quality of life, whether it's in Chicago or if it's at the border or in Los Angeles, and doing this because they think it's going to get them political power. Is that going to unfold, and will it be successful?
Well, look at where socialism is being enforced in our major cities. People are fleeing those cities, and they're moving to states like Texas. And what are the people doing who are closest to the border? What are they doing? They're actually electing Republicans to mayoral seats in historic wins. They're changing seats on school boards because the crime associated with this and the societal unrest associated with this illegal crossing is something that the people in Texas realize more. If you live on a border, you realize what the problems are. The second thing is, it is about political power, Tammy. H.R. 1 and all these legal reforms take away all the voting security. There's going to be, 1 million new people running around this country and they will have no security on our voting. The modern Democratic Party is all about not following the rules. And I think the American people next November are going to send them quite a message.
Well, we have to, because while you can have pockets, Rachel, back to you very quickly here. When you've got pockets of cities, areas, whether they're blue or not, where there is such chaos and such a lack of law and order, that is going to breed even more violence. Every American matters. Every city matters. We don't care what color those cities are. We are all invested in this country. We can't have a divided nation. And yet that's also what seems to be happening here, where you have a completely different quality of life. When it comes to the decisions Americans are making and what cities we're fighting for, what would you tell the average American when we're dealing with waiting until the midterms? What is it we need to do to keep our communities in particularly safe?
We need to keep talking about this because, again, the lies are so bad. Kamala Harris is claiming, Tammy, that she's addressing the root causes, but these policies are actually empowering, enriching the cartels, which is going to further destabilize supposedly the root causes in these countries. This is actually so bad. It is going to get worse. As Mexico and Central America, they're having increased violence there. We're going to see that pouring up across our border. We're going to see more people trying to flee, and we just have to stand up. I think you're absolutely right, Tammy. We can't wait until the midterms. This thing is getting out of control. There's 1 million people who will be here before the end of the year, and we don't know who they are.
That's a great point, Tom. In our a minute we have left here or so, we've got to, and we see families going to the school board meetings. We see families going to the police department. We had a great decision in Minneapolis about that they have to hire more police officers. So beyond like the larger federal infrastructure dynamic, what would you, with your experience, tell local families getting involved in their community? What should they step up to do first, do you think?
They need to start calling the congressmen and senators and hold them responsible because they work for them, not the other way around. I want to expand on something that Rachel just said, though. Rachel talked about Kamala Harris talking about root causes. All Kamala Harris has to do is walk down the hall into the Oval Office, and she'll find the root causes. And one other thing Rachel talked about, Rachel was spot on at the airports. I was at the airport. I was down the southern border with the president 2 days ago. I was at McAllen Airport. I saw hundreds of family units getting on those airplanes. And not only that, those airline tickets are paid by the U.S. taxpayer, compliments of the Biden administration. You get a brand new iPhone compliments of the taxpayer. This is much worse than people realize it is. So, I think President Trump made a good trip down there. He actually got his shoes dirty on the southern border.
Thank
goodness. Talked to the men and women of the Border Patrol, and he actually talked about solutions to fix the border, unlike anybody in the Biden administration.
And let me tell you, thank you, Tom. Not only is President Trump, he remains inspirational, but so can individuals in their own cities. Maybe you never thought you were going to have to talk to the police commissioner or to the mayor. That is your right. You should do it. And you stepping up. You've seen so many parents becoming inspirations because of viral videos. But it doesn't even need to be a video. It can be about your neighborhood and your community. So there's a great deal that we can do leading up to this midterm election. Thank you all for joining me tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.